good afternoon to you from wherever you're joining us. Welcome to NTV at 1 on this 8th day of December 2024. My name is Hellen Aura and I'll be taking you through the news making headlines locally and internationally. Welcome to the broadcast. Members of the National Assembly now say they will amend the National Government Constituency Development Fund Act to meet the legal threshold after the High Court declared the kitty unconstitutional. Legislators say the fund is too critical to let go of as it supports education, infrastructure and health programs in constituencies. Here is the member of Mbeere North, Geoffrey Ruku, defending the fund.
Kwa sasa CDF is an act of parliament. Na koti zetu za Kenya zimesema hiyo act of parliament, National Government Constituency Development Fund Act, is unconstitutional. That is what I could say. Na sisi ndio tunatengeneza katiba. Sisi ndio tunatengeneza sheria. Tunaenda kuitengeneza vizuri kupitia katiba, sio kupitia act of parliament kwa sasa, ili watoto wa Mbeere, watoto wa Kenya waweze kupata mazingira mzuri ya kusomea. In this constituency, tuko na madarasa ambayo ni ya matope. Ruangole Primary School, nimeenda huko nikapomoa yote, ili tujenge madarasa ambayo ni sawa sawa.
The government now says the demand for houses under its affordable housing program outweighs the supply amid public outcry among Kenyans rejecting the project and monthly housing levy deductions. Land Public Works, Housing and Urban Development Cabinet Secretary Alice Wahome says only slightly over 120,000 units are ready against a demand nearly 4 times that. The project is the government's initiative to address housing shortage in the country.
We have 124,000 houses tumejenga. Na usikilize porojo kwa orodha yetu ya wale wangetaka manyumba. Niko na request intention that wangetaka kuwa considered. Tuko na 550,000 applications. Hello? Wewe unasikia huko story nyumba nini? Register yangu sasa. Wale wamepeana notice na intention wawe part of the project kununua 550,000 Kenyans. Na niko na only 124,000 today. Zile zinaendelea.
The government has been asked to exempt donations and charities to children homes and orphanage facilities in Kenya from taxation in a bid to support their services to orphans and vulnerable children. This comes amid stakeholders' alarm over the rise in cases of offences against minors, as Ruth Sarmweche Senge now tells us.
Speaking during the celebration of 20 years since the establishment of Baba Nyumbani Children's Home in Kitale, stakeholders in the child welfare sector expressed concern over heavy taxation and its effects on their operations.
Mtoto tukimchukua tunampeleka through primary education, secondary education, university or college. Na wakiwa hapa tunawaprovide kila kitu. So because of high cost of living, also pia sisi imetu affect.
They called on the government to exempt taxation on children's home to enable them care better for vulnerable children.
Serikali iwe na sheria za kuwa shield kutoka kwa heavy taxation mahali wananunua vitu wakitumia kwa hii home, zile taxes siondolewe.
This come as stakeholders in the social services indicate a growing number of parents abandoning their responsibilities, leaving their children to be placed in children's home. Offences against minors are also on the rise.
There are still far too many children and young people in our community and beyond who lack the love, support, and opportunity that every child, youth, and family deserves.
Not been abused by people who are very close to them at the home, and because we do not have facilities to take good care of them. They'll go to the police, and then they are forced to go back to the same homes. I would like us to have that kind of partnership, that if we get such a children, we can find a way of accommodating them here. Then we'll see how we can partner in terms of just providing a secure environment.
Parents are urged to take an active role in safeguarding their children's well-being to prevent potential risks. Ruth Sarmoy-Chesenge, NTV.
A sharp division has emerged between border operators in Embu County over a planned summit slated for January. At the center of this controversy is some 9.3 million shillings raised to facilitate the organization of the summit. The division comes days after the registration of their patron, and now operators from Kirimari Ward are now demanding that the money be shared amongst themselves, while another section from 19 other wards still want to carry on with a planned summit. A meeting convened on Thursday between Kirimari Ward operators and Governor Cecily Mbarire did not yield any result after they insisted on being given their rightful share.
Kama viongozi tumekubaliana ya kwamba wangawiwe, na tunawaomba pia watu wa Kirimari ya kwamba hata kama wanaomba wangawiwe, kama kuna mmoja wao ama kuna wale wanataka tuendelee na mpango wetu wa summit, wasiende hiyo njia ya kugawiwa pesa.
Sisi kama viongozi tumeona ni inaweza, lakini kama hiyo pesa lazima igawe, itakuwa na process ambayo itatumika.
Now, a family in Kirinyaga County has begun their festive season on a high with their celebration of their matriarch's achievement of 117 years. Margaret Kagondu is still full of strength and perfect in senses, living to see her second generation of grandchildren. Lois Wangoi with more.
Margaret Kagondu Kago can still shake a leg at 117 years old. Her dance partner on this day is her priest, who leads her community in marking her many years here below. It is a huge milestone for this mother, grandmother, and now second-generation great-grandmother. In her local dialect, she holds the rare and coveted title of Maito. As she settles in church for her Golden Age celebratory mass, her ear-piercing style reveals her generation, complementing her fair skin with few wrinkles for her decades lived.
Najua siri ya kuwekwa hii miaka yote, kitu ya kwanza ni upendo na umoja. Mama yetu anapenda watu, sio uwe uko na kitu ama una kitu. Ukiwa mtoto yake anampenda na anamweka mahali pamoja, na you are all equal.
The family says she picked white as color theme of her outfit of the day, a monochrome look of white from head to toe, insisting on full sleeves and an ankle-length dress. The family says this is a rare achievement.
Tumekuja siku ya leo kusherehekea miaka 117 ya Margaret Kagondu Kago, famously known as MKK. Ni mama mzee ambaye ametulea. Yeye ndio mkubwa kushida baba yangu, kwa hivyo yeye ni shangazi yangu. Baba yangu aliaga mwaka wa 2017 akiwa na miaka 90. Na huyu dada yake akaendelea kuishi.
In church, many queued to congratulate her, some seeking her blessings, which she gladly gave it as her tradition dictates, a polite spit to their hands. Soon, it was time to indulge in fresh delicacies.
Tumekuja mahali hapa tukate keki kwa sababu tunajua ya kwamba afadhali upe mzazi yako maua akiwa hai kuliko ungoje akufe ndio munulie saduku ya 30,000.
Kufikisha miaka 117 sio kitu rahisi, kwa sababu tunashukuru Mungu sana. Ndiposa tukakuwa na sherehe huko kwa kanisa, tukakuwa na misa, na sasa tuko hapa tunasherekea, tunataka kukata cake, tusherekee pamoja.
At 117 years old, Kagondo's eyesight remains perfect, her memory intact, and her hearing still evidently clear. Only her gait giving away the accumulation of time in her bones. She is blessed with 7 children, the firstborn of whom died at age 90, while her eldest grandchild is 65.
I am happy today, and I want to thank God so much.
Lois Ongwe, NTV.
What a heartfelt story. And don't forget to celebrate and give your loved ones their flowers, especially during this festive season, so that you don't end up wishing you did so while they were still with you. Now, the Kaptue Maasai clan, predominant in the metro part of Kajiado East Sub-County, have initiated a new age set in readiness for boy circumcision. This is a move aimed at sustaining the tradition after shelving the age set culture for decades. As NTV's Zachary Nyakweba reports, this new age set has also been guided on the contemporary issue affecting society.
In the heart of Kajiado East Sub-County, the Kaptue Maasai community is embracing the rhythm of their heritage. A new age group known as Imeltaroni Lekedianye has been initiated. This ancient tradition marks the beginning of a cultural journey for boys aged 5 to 18 years. Elders are also using this unique opportunity to sensitize young boys on education, combating societal vices like early marriage, gender-based violence, and female genital mutilation.
Mila ni jambo la maana sana. Hata Waswahili walisema mwacha mila ni mtumwa. Wakati wa holiday hii ya Disemba, tunataka tuwafunze kimila, baadaye waende shule. Hatutaki mila ambaye inawatoa vijana kwa shule.
This is a cultural revival ceremony rich in symbolism. Known as Kimpata or Imeltaroni Lekedianye, which begins with the men of the community serenading a specially chosen bull with the traditional Maasai songs. The act of soothing the bull and covering its mouth represents peace and respect values these young boys are encouraged to uphold throughout their lives. As the bull roasts over an open fire, the boys gather to share the meat with the elders.
Kwa Kimasai tunaanza na kitu inaitwa orkiteng. Hii ambayo imechinjwa hapa. Na ndio tunasema olobolosi orkiteng sababu imechinjwa awalos.
Hiyo ndume ni yao, si yetu. Hao ndio watakula, hao ndio wanatengenezewa, na kwa kimila ya Kimasai hiyo ndume ni ya Imeltaroni. Age-made Imeltaroni.
A special prayer led by the elders blesses the boys and entrusts them to a newly appointed 13-year-old chief to guide them on their journey.
Nimechaguliwa kama mkubwa wa rika. Nimejifunza kuwa mkubwa wa rika ni unganisha, nitakuwa nasaidia watu.
The Maasai community has long been celebrated for its vibrant traditions. From its iconic red attire to its energetic dances. Today, this legacy continues as the boys prepare for circumcision. Zachary Nyakweba, NTV, Nairobi.
Parents have been advised to monitor the content their children consume, more so by use of electronic gadgets during these long holidays. Speaking during the launch of a play dictionary at the Rofin International School, morality watchdog Ezekiel Mutua said that content consumed by minors directly correlates to their behavior, and as such, parents must be mindful of their online activity. Parents have also appreciated the move by the school to engage learners in extracurricular activities as a way to keep them constructively engaged. During the event, parents were also urged to spend more time with their children during this festive season.
This is the time when parents need to be vulnerable with their children. We don't need to play holier than thou. We just need to show them that we were also young. We also made mistakes. We were also growing up, and we fell and we rose up. And if we can sit with our children and they realize even when they make mistakes, they are still human beings and they are loved.
Let's just try to nurture them well. Let's try and inculcate the best values for them, values that are able to support them, whether you are here today or not here today. Masses that we've seen today, they're actually meant to nurture their talents.
Also, we just want to wish parents a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and let's make sure that our kids are well protected while with them at home.
That story on minding your children and what they watch takes us on a short break here on NTV at 1. But don't go too far. We have much more lined up for you on the other side.
I'll have the usual on the rocks, double.
Your profile says you don't drink.
How? And I miss out on the silky refreshing test?
For real? For real. Well, in that case, I'll have whatever he's having.
I drink responsibly. Knock knock.
Who's there?
Del.
Del who?
Del Monte.
Real, recognize real. No added sugar, no preservatives. 100% real fruit.
Tarehe 4
on 4th
hadi tarehe 15
up to 15th of December
mwezi wa 12 Mungu anatupa nguvu kupitia kwa damu na mwili wa mwanawe.
Any 2 80-gram Cadbury Dairy Milk Packs ama Cadbury Drinking Chocolate. Visit Cadbury.Africa or andikie someone special your heartfelt message ya kumshow thanks. T's and C's apply. Cadbury, there's a glass and a half in everyone.
International Women's Day 2024. Pomp, glamour, empowerment. In 2025, we are leveling up. Join us for an even bigger and unforgettable experience. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to the broadcast. My name is Hellen Aura and you're watching NTV at 1. The Nigerian Cheke Council of Ameru Elders has distanced itself from the looming Gemma political party that aims to rally the region behind one political force ahead of 2027 general election. Led by their chairman, Adrian Ariaru, the elders say forming a regional political party will lead to the division among communities. The elders add that they will continue supporting the current government from the national up to county levels. They have urged Gemma leaders not to allow politicians to misguide them, asking the planners to join the existing political parties in the country.
Na Ngema ilikuwa wakati wa mkoloni na ndio iliundwa na babu zetu kama Mzee Jomo Kenyatta na wale wengine, lakini haikuwa chama cha siasa, ilikuwa kitu ya kutuleta pamoja kama mandugu, na wale wanataka kuifanya iwe chama cha siasa waache.
We are supporting the government from national level to the county level. Kama kuna statement ambayo inatakikana itolewe, lazima itolewe hapa.
The government insists it will carry on with the planned nationwide animal vaccination exercise next year, despite opposition from quarters, including opposition politicians. During the Kenya Veterinary Association Gala dinner, the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development asserted that Kenya cannot export its livestock products currently due to the inability to meet the required vaccination standards. The ministry says this is among measures put in place to increase livestock production and contribution to the economy from 12 to 20% of the gross domestic product.
The team that we put in place together with the existing secretariat, every person, every veterinarian, every paraveterinarian, whether in government, private sector, will get to understand their role in the whole program, and nobody will be left behind, because vaccinating over 70 million animals is not a small feat. It will require a lot of mobilization, and everybody has all hands have to come on deck, as I said earlier.
Hii dawa yenye italetwa itatengenezwa hapa nchini na madaktari wetu ndio watakuwa wanafanya hiyo chanjo. Na kama chairman ya Kenya Veterinary Board, ni sisi ndio tunasimamia madaktari wote, na tunajua ile dawa italetwa itakuwa ya muhimu kwa wanyama wetu, na kwa hivyo tungehimiza ya kwamba mtuunge mkono, na saa zile madaktari wanakuja mjue ni madaktari wote wameajiliwa na Kenya Veterinary Board.
The government is ramping up supports and efforts to harness the power of young agripreneurs to drive transformation in the agricultural sector. This is according to the Cabinet Secretary, Andrew Karanja, who says the aim is to tackle youth unemployment and boost productivity in rural areas. Speaking at the commissioning of 140 young agripreneurs in Embu, CS Karanja emphasized the critical need for this initiative to create immediate job opportunities for youth while strengthening local agriculture. These young professionals will work directly with farmers, providing vital extension services to improve productivity and promote sustainable farming practices. This initiative is part of a larger government strategy to position agribusiness as a cornerstone of the youth empowerment and economic development. Local leaders are also committed to fast-tracking training these agripreneurs, ensuring they can make an immediate impact on the agricultural output.
We will plan a good program for all of them across the county, and I'm sure with these people, we will revolutionize agriculture in Embu County.
Kwa kila ward hapa takuwa na watu 7. Hawa ni 140, watakuwa na watu 7 kwa kila ward. Na ni Kenya mzima. Hii ni mpango ambao tumeanzisha ili tukijumuisha na counties, tuimarishe mambo ya huduma kwa wakulima.
Borders now, West African nation Ghana has voted in a presidential and parliamentary election amid hopes for an economic revival after the worst financial crisis in a generation. President Nana Akufo-Addo is stepping down next month after serving 2 terms as head of the world's second-largest cocoa producer and a significant gold miner. 12 candidates are vying to succeed him, but the race is seen as primarily between Vice President Mahamudu Bawumia, chosen successor of Akufo-Addo's new Patriotic Party (NPP), and former President John Dramani of the National Democratic Congress (NDC). Jubilant NDC supporters took to the streets of Accra in historic Jamestown, chanting, banging pans and blaring horns after results from their polling stations showed the party in a comfortable lead.
29.
From Ghana, now we hand over to my colleague Elijah Oko, who will take us through the sports news. Elijah, take over.
Well, thank you very much for staying tuned and welcome along to your home of sports. My name is Elijah Ogom. Let's start off with the FKF elections. And newly elected Football Kenya Federation President Hussein Mohamed now says he will fight for the enactment of a legislation to fight match fixing. Several players, match officials and coaches have been accused of match fixing, and Hussein revealed that he will deal with the accused accordingly.
As a result of many factors, and it will take us an entire evening if we were to go into that. But I want to assure you that we need to put in the systems, the right systems. We need to remunerate referees well. We need to do capacity building for referees. There's a lot we need to do to curb that vice. And for that to happen, the entire team must work in tandem. We will need to have new legislation that will deal with match fixing. We'll need to train investigators on matters of match fixing. So there's a lot of work to be done if we are to tackle that particular vice.
And on to some sad news. West Ham United forward Mikel Antonio is conscious and in a stable condition in hospital after he was involved in a road traffic accident on Saturday. A statement by the club says West Ham United can confirm that Mikel Antonio is in a stable condition following a road traffic accident this afternoon in the Essex area. The club has asked that the 34-year-old Jamaican international's privacy be respected and there will be no further comment, but they will issue a further update in due course. Antonio has been at West Ham since 2015 and has featured in every league game for the club this season. West Ham's next fixture is a home game with Wolverhampton Wanderers on Monday. Wilson Redding beat a field of 103 golfers at the par 72V Pingo Ridge Golf Course to claim the overall title in the Kilifi International Investment Conference Golf Tournament on Saturday. Wilson, playing off handicap 31, collected 42 points to elbow Maureen Obunga and Edwin Kipto into second and third places with 40 and 38 points respectively. It was a rough course for Kenya's top golfer and home favourite Naomi Wafula, who settled for 8th place with 37 points. The golf tournament is a testament of Kilifi County's potential as a premier destination for sports enthusiasts with a focus on driving success among local athletes.
Some of the activities that actually bring people to Kilifi, to ensure that we bring people to Kilifi to enjoy our tourism facilities and tourist sites that Kilifi has.
Kilifi is a prime for sports tourism. Yeah, we have the beachfront where we're looking to have beach games. We've had twice with the National Olympic Committee games there. We've had beach games there. We have the Kilifi Triathlon, which is proving to be an international event because judging from the interest that it is bringing.
And in the NBA, Ja Morant had 32 points, 9 assists and 9 rebounds. And the Memphis Grizzlies snapped a 10-game losing streak in Boston with a 127-121 win over the Celtics on Saturday night. Jaren Jackson Jr. added 27 points and 9 rebounds for Memphis, which won TD Garden for the first time since November 27, 2013. The Grizzlies have won 8 of their last 9. Drew Holiday had 23 points for the Celtics, who went 18 for 60 from the three-point line. Jaylen Brown and Peyton Pritchard each finished with 22 points. The Celtics erased a 14-point third-quarter deficit, taking a 97-94 lead early in the fourth. Memphis rallied and led 117-115 with less than 4 minutes to play. The Grizzlies then scored 7 straight to get it back up to 124-115 and were able to close it out.
Celtics haven't led all night. Until now.
Well, that's all we had for you. Now, let me hand you over to Hellen Aura.
Thank you so much, Elijah Oko, and thank you for keeping me company here on NTV at 1. But don't go too far. Keep tabs on our subsequent bulletin, that is NTV 7 p.m. bulletin and 9 p.m. bulletin. And stay tuned as well, as our team is in Kilifi County for the Kilifi Investment Conference. And if you're an interested or a stakeholder, I know much awaits you there. My name is Hellen Aura. It's been a pleasure. Do enjoy the rest of your Sunday and see you next Sunday.